following along on the Instagrams, then you know that I've been working on the Black C5 and got some parts in for it. I said I was going to review these, and that's just what we're going to do. The reason I bought these is so that I can take my Pafats, send them back to AFE, have them rebuilt, and put them back on the car, and still, because there's no springs underneath the car, still have a car that I can drive around on the street. You know, never hurts to have a spare set of coilovers hanging around. So what you see here is exactly what came in the box. I got a manual, I got some warranty paperwork and some disclaimers and instructions, but the second paragraph of the instruction says I can't relay any of the information to you over the internet, electronically, video. I can't even read it to you out loud, which is really strange. Anyhow, I got 2 wrenches, and I got 2 fronts, and I got 2 rears. The very first thing that I'm gonna tell you that when I pulled these out of the box that I didn't like was I did not like the pillow block mount. I think that's very cheap. The second thing I found, the valving. This one is actually, let's try this. Nope. That valving's pretty darn loose, and the whole shaft and everything is moving. That doesn't tell me that that's high quality. I would assume for the price that either the valving would have been high quality or the body would have been high quality. You would think if you looked at this online that this is aluminum, when in fact it is steel. Now this is the rear shock, this is the bottom, and your whole shock is steel. Now, when you buy a high performance shock, they're usually aluminum because they dissipate heat very quickly. One of the worst enemies to a shock is heat. That's why we build big reservoirs, so there's a place for all that fluid to go, and it can get cooled as air passes over it. This is down by the brake, so it's going to absorb all that heat, right? And once this heat soaks, this shock is going to fade, in my opinion. But we'll see. I'm going to give it an honest try, because I am putting them on the car. Alright, here's the other thing that I don't like about them. Let me move this. So, again, this is a different shock. You can see how loose that valving is. This is the top of the shock, and watch this. The valve stem slides up and down. I don't know what the design thought is behind that, but being as though this is a inverted coilover, all that dirt and grime and brake dust and everything else off the road is going to make its way right there down that shaft and into your shock body, and my guess is it's going to stop turning pretty early on in its lifetime, right? Another thing I don't like about it, and again, this is going back to the construction of it. So here you have what appears to be a hard anodized aluminum, and I don't think that's the case. I think that's powder coating. It's got a ball joint, and that's Teflon line, so that's separating the aluminum from the steel. But the problem is that the retainer plate is steel. The bolts are steel. Thank God they're not stainless. And I don't see anywhere in there that there is any coating separating the two metals. And since this is only powder coating, it's going to wear away pretty quickly, I would say, if that starts to move around or shake a little bit. And then you're going to start to get electrolysis, they're going to corrode. Down here, steel again, aluminum. And you can plainly see there is nothing separating the two metals. Now, to be fair, zinc coated, it is powder coated, but powder coating does wear off, popular to contrary belief. As a matter of fact, here, I will even demonstrate to you the difference. Okay, so this is powder coating, and if it's not, it's very weak anodizing, and it scratches right off. This is a 10-year-old, pretty high quality shock absorber. That's hard anodizing. It really doesn't scratch. Big difference. Big difference in quality. So basically what's going to happen is once this zinc coating wears away, or once this powder coating wears away, or very light anodizing, you're going to get electrolysis taking place. You're going to get corrosion on this shock. The problem I find with the front is, again, you have a steel mount bolted to an actual aluminum body that's a steel shock body. So once this coating wears away and the coating on the threads inside here starts to wear away, you're going to get electrolysis, you're going to get corrosion. Now to talk about this part. I think this part's pretty important. As I'm looking these over, you know, some of the welds are pretty good. That one seems like a pretty decent weld, although the penetration is really questionable. Keep in mind, I'm no welding expert, but I could tell you this, that would never pass a structural inspection on a building, because I said it to a buddy of mine that's what he does, and he said that would absolutely never pass. But I will tell you from the manufacturer's level, and I can see it right here, they did put a hammer against it and they chipped at it to make sure that the weld is solid. So there is a QC aspect that's involved before these go out. Honestly, a nice TIG weld, and I know this is done with a machine, they either need to slow down their wire or turn up their heat, one of the two, and you could get a much more quality weld out of that. Now, just in comparison, and I have to tell you guys, if you didn't read the post on Instagram, okay, this is not an apples for apples comparison. This coilover is in no way in the same category. Actually, let me straighten that out. This coilover is in no way even close to the category of this coilover, okay? And I'm going to show you the difference. Aluminum, 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 aluminum. After 10 years of very, very hard use, there is no slack in that valving. And that's the blown out one. Here's what I'm going to say. Just from appearance, I haven't driven on them yet. I'm going to reserve that until I drive them. We'll see what it's like. For what I received, I think this is about an $800 shock that sold for $1,300. So y'all, take it for what it's worth. That's my review so far of the BC Racing custom coilover. Arguably, it's a street shock, and that's about all it is. We'll try it on the road. We'll see how it does. Hey, it may be worth the darn. Who knows? Time will tell. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll catch y'all real soon.